2, 1. Hello, everybody. It is Payton with the Who Cares Network here. Today, I am doing a tier list that is very near and dear to my heart. It is the Spam Flavor tier list. And today, I have my buddy David with me. Say hi, David.
Hi, David.
Hell yeah. This is the same friend that I've talked about that's went to Dragon Con with me, that I went to Des Moines with, and planned a few other trips with. Just for everyone who may not be entirely in the loop. So, David, what are your opinions on Spam as a whole?
Frankly, I've only ever had it in the form of Spam musubi, but I really like that. I've never eaten, raw Spam because that's kind of weird. But
yeah,
fried up, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
basic Spam anyway. A good salty treat for the soul.
Yeah, I have to agree. Spam right from the can, kind of. Yeah. There are some flavors that it's more acceptable with, but others are just kind of, no, you shouldn't do that, and if you do, I hate you.
That Boyardee right from the can hits different, though.
For some people. I'm not like, there are very few foods I enjoy like from a can, just straight out of the can. But you know. So, first up on the list, we have Spam Classic. This is your standard, run-of-the-mill Spam. I would also like to mention, you're going into this completely fucking blind. This is just off of my opinions and what it sounds like to you.
Yeah.
Just to clarify for everyone. So, first up, we have Spam Classic. Spam Classic. Yeah, that is the most versatile Spam you can get. That is the one that you can put in any Spam dish. Hell, that's the one that whenever I made some cookies for Christmas one year. That was a white chocolate macadamia nut and candied Spam cookie. That's the flavor I used for it.
I mean, that sounds like the correct flavor.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like something you should do, but
it was actually a lot better than like I would have expected. My only complaint is I didn't candy the Spam well enough. Like I didn't cut it up small enough and then candy it long enough, or else it could have been really good. But next time I make them, I know the trick now.
The fact that there's a trick bothers me.
I have to say, Spam Classic, it's definitely up there. I don't believe it's S tier, though, because there are flavors that are just better than it.
But it's the one that is recognized worldwide, and yeah. I think that in and of itself deserves S tier.
That is fair. That is very fair. And with how versatile it is, I could see it deserving S tier for that. That is the flavor everyone, knows.
So everybody knows
Spam. With that, I can agree on S tier. I just realized I put the 25% 25% less sodium one on here twice. Huh. Well, we'll just leave one of those off.
No, we'll rank it twice.
Rank it twice?
Rank it twice.
Well, we'll rank it the first time now. So, the 25% less sodium Spam. It tastes identical to the original one, but has less sodium in it. I typically use it whenever I make Spam tacos, because it is more available than some of the other flavors, especially since some of the better ones have gotten discontinued. And that way you're not just having like your tacos be a salt bomb, you know?
I don't know, some tacos need that salt bomb though.
They do, but Spam in and of itself is already salty, and then your taco seasoning tends to have a lot of salt in it to begin with.
That's fair.
So that is my preferred one whenever I'm making Spam tacos, is using the 25% less sodium. But other than that, it is identical to standard Spam. So I'm going to go with my gut and still say A tier for this one. The only reason the original one got S is because of it of its
because of its legacy.
Yeah. 25% less sodium. It tastes identical. It has the identical textures. You cannot tell a difference unless you have like really, really fried taste receptors for sodium. So I think it goes in A tier just because it's not as recognizable as your standard Spam.
Correct. I have no disagreement here.
25% less sodium Spam.
A tier. A tier. We don't need to explain.
No need to explain. Spam Light. I gotta say,
what is Spam Light?
Spam Light has less sodium and less fat. It is your healthy alternative to Spam.
Nothing about Spam is healthy.
Yeah. I mean, Spam's not horrible for you. Like, yes, the sodium is up there. But other than the sodium, like if you're putting it in something that can, work and disperse it, it's actually not horrible for you.
Fair enough.
However, Spam Light is a fucking atrocity against all that is Spam. It's not the worst flavor. F tier is reserved for one very particular flavor, in my opinion. But I do think Spam Light, it's probably C or D. It doesn't taste right otherwise. It's a pork product. You want a pork product to be fattier.
It's just Spam, but worse.
Pretty well.
I can agree with C or D. I can agree with these things.
I'm going to put it, we're going to say high D.
High D.
Yeah. Spam with, I believe it's pronounced tocino. So this is there's a Filipino dish called, it's using tocino seasoning, right? And you're supposed to like cook your meat in it, and like it makes a glaze with the water the seasoning does that you can glaze your meat with, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, it had already been a big thing in the Philippines, so Hormel just decided, why don't we put it in the can to where you can make it like that? And
quick and easy.
Yeah, it is a very convenient product if you like that. And whenever I tried it, it had a great flavor to it, but they need to be more clear on the instructions, because I thought you were just supposed to do it like regular Spam, but you're actually supposed to add water to it so it makes that glaze. So my first can of it was kind of not great, but that's on me. That's not on them.
Yeah, but then did you make it the correct way?
I did make it the correct way, and it was a lot better. It wasn't mind-blowing, and I feel like if I would have just had the ingredients, it probably would have been better if I did it myself.
I mean, yeah, any meal is typically better if you do it yourself rather than right out of the package.
But I would say with that, it has like a reddish color to it whenever it's cooked, right? Because of the glaze. And it's like, I had it over some rice the second time. So good.
Oh, yeah?
It was so good.
I'd eat that.
I wouldn't say it's, of the level, of course, of like Spam Classic or even 25% less sodium. But I was going to say, it seems like a solid B tier option.
Solid B tier. No more, no less.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Spam teriyaki flavor.
I've actually had that one once and didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember anything particularly remarkable about it.
What I can say about it is it wasn't as sweet as I like my teriyaki to be.
Fair.
And it tasted more garlicky than it should, in my opinion. That's not a bad thing, but it's not what I was hoping for. All of these flavors, at least all the ones I've tried, I have had in both as they are, just fried up normal, and then I've had them in something.
Okay.
That one, I made a really good Spam fried rice with that one.
I was going to say, that sounds like it would go decent on fried rice.
Yeah, and it does. It goes great on it. But by itself, it doesn't really have the oomph that you're thinking of with teriyaki.
Yeah, you got to have that punch.
Yeah. And that could just be a me thing. I like my teriyaki a little bit sweeter than most people do. I think, at least.
Yeah.
But it's still good. I think that goes with Spam Tocino in the B tier.
Okay, we can put it in B. B sounds agreeable. I was thinking C, but that's just because I can't remember anything remarkable about it.
Honestly, that would be a good reason for C tier. Next up we have Spam Jalapeno. What was that?
C tier to me is very middle of the road.
Yeah, I can actually agree with C tier on that. Like it's good enough. I would buy it again.
It's not bad,
yeah.
But it's not the banger that you are looking for when you buy Spam.
Yeah, I would say I'd buy it again, but I think it's one of those flavors that got discontinued at the beginning of last year. I think.
Thank you, Hormel.
Yes, thank you, Hormel, taking away a half decent flavor. Next up, we have jalapeno Spam. It is a Spam with chunks of jalapeno in it. Pretty, easy to imagine that.
I imagine that would also be decent in tacos.
It is. I used it in a breakfast burrito once.
Banger.
Yeah, it's really good, but I would rather just have Spam and then buy some like pickled jalapenos.
Yeah, or just fresh cut jalapeno. Get that nice.
Oh yeah,
clean taste.
It's not bad by any means. Like if you find it, which I think that's another flavor that might be discontinued now. If you find it though, it's very good. It's worth picking up. It's also really good if like you brown it up first and then make scrambled eggs around it.
I do like my eggs a little spicy.
Yeah, it's really, really good for that. But it's not as versatile as like your standard Spam would be. You can't use it in every Spam recipe. Like
no, it's hard to.
I'm pretty sure if I was going to make like my cookies that I talked about, jalapeno Spam fuck no.
That'd be a bad choice.
Yeah. I'm thinking though that one's probably an A tier one.
Okay. I can't agree or disagree. I've never had that one.
It's a solid choice, but it's not like your best. It's not even the best spicy flavor out of the Spam.
Oh no, there are multiple spicy flavors.
Next, we have the Spam Hot and Spicy. The Spam Hot and Spicy is essentially Spam made. I know it used to be made with Tabasco sauce. I don't know if it still is, and it's just like a generic hot sauce now. But Spam Hot and Spicy is S tier along with the standard one.
Okay.
That is.
I'm not going to argue with that. That was a very firm S tier.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's hot, so again, you can't use it in like a sweet application, but it is so much more versatile than your jalapeno one is. It has a really good flavor that isn't like. It has a good flavor and the Spam texture you're expecting without having like random chunks in it like the jalapeno does.
Yeah.
So if you're expecting, Spam but spicy, get a can of the hot and spicy.
But if you want jalapeno, shoot for the jalapeno.
Oh yeah, if you specifically want jalapeno, go for the jalapeno one. Both are great choices, but if I had to pick one, it'd be the hot and spicy.
Okay.
One of the.
I mean, that's clear. It's an S tier.
Yeah.
Jalapeno is not.
Yeah. One of the actually biggest tragedies with my collection is back when I was in 7th grade, so whenever I was around 13 or so, I went to Avery Island, Louisiana, where the Tabasco sauce factory is, right?
Oh.
And I bought a can of the hot and spicy Spam from there back when they actually had the triangle on it that said it was made with Tabasco sauce. But I have no idea where that can went. I think it got lost during one of our moves.
I'm sure it's in a landfill somewhere, unfortunately.
Probably. And that is, it's not a huge loss for the collection itself, but it's a loss for personal,
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we have the hickory smoke flavor of Spam. It's not F tier, but in my opinion, it's riding the fucking line.
Does it just kind of taste like liquid smoke? Because that's the kind of vibe I get.
Yeah, it kind of does. It tastes like you were making Spam and then dumped like a bottle of liquid smoke into it.
No, you never dump the whole bottle, just a couple of drops.
Yeah, I'm aware. I think it's a D tier. I'm sure it
Low
has some.
D.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it has some uses. Like, it definitely has more uses than our F tier friend here, which we will get to in a few. But
I cannot see the F tier friend. We
he's
cannot find a way to make this work
uh,
because I am a ghost.
yes. It's I'm putting them on the list as we're talking, so it's not like anyone
Yeah.
else besides me knows what F tier is.
Okay, we know you know what's coming. No one else does. We're all in for a surprise.
Yeah. But yeah, hickory smoke. It's okay, I guess. It's like, if you're going to use it, put it in like. Okay, have you ever heard of like Korean army stew? It's like budae jjigae or however it's pronounced.
No, that's not something I'm familiar with.
It's basically a Korean soup that was made whenever American soldiers went over and they got like a bunch of American stuff.
Okay.
And it's called army base soup, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of just threw all the new processed shit they got from America into it. So it's a soup that has like instant ramen noodles, sausages, spam, all that kind of stuff that they got from the Americans in a like spicy Korean broth.
That doesn't sound horrible.
I could maybe see the hickory smoke in that if you cut it up real small so it like could disperse it through the soup. Maybe. But
I don't think that would be horrible. A little bit of smoke flavor in some soup. Never a bad plan.
Or maybe if you're using like an actual smoker to get actual smoke flavor to like mask out the obvious liquid smoke they use, you could maybe do like a smoked like I've seen people do like spam burnt ends and stuff like that.
That sounds delicious.
You might be able to do something like that, but I I don't know. I can't think of another reason that would.
Lodi.
Yeah, low D. Next, we have oven roasted turkey spam.
I don't.
Oh,
My gut reaction with this is, as someone who's not a spam connoisseur, is I don't want my pork product to taste like turkey.
yeah. Well, it actually uses, I believe it's turkey and chicken for this one. It is a non-pork spam product, I believe.
Then it's wrong.
Yeah. Now, it is good and bad, right? It is.
Okay.
I'm going to say it probably goes in C tier, but after I explain it, you can let me know your reasoning. Because if you cook it right, it's pretty decent, actually. Like, if you make sure you get a good crust on it and, serve it with things, it's pretty good. There was a guy I watched on YouTube, The Wolf Pit, shout out to him, by the way, even though he is much bigger than us. He made an entire Thanksgiving dinner using a can of Spam turkey. And
that's impressive.
Yeah, and what he did, well, not of course not the entire dinner, just the turkey portion. But like, he made turkey gravy using the drippings from the turkey spam.
Okay.
Which, and some broth and stuff like that, like to actually, well, excuse me, to actually like pad out. Oh, I'm burping. To actually pad out the thing, because there's only so much you get. And I gotta say,
Yeah.
it looked, I mean, it kind of looked like a prison meal. I'm pretty sure he served it on a paper plate in the video, but it still looked good,
Yeah.
Also, I've tried this because I watched his video on it. If you take the brick of it and you bake it whole, it develops a skin like turkey does.
That's weird. I don't like that.
It's weird, but it's really good. Like, you know how turkey skin is some of the best part of it.
Turkey skin is good.
But like, what it does is like, I guess like some of the fat renders down from the outside and just leaves that layer. But also, the first time I cooked it, I didn't cook it crispy enough, and it was The flavor was fine, texture was awful.
Okay.
So, after hearing the explanation, kind of what's your thoughts on that?
Again, just gut reaction. I don't want what I expect to be pork product to not be pork product.
Okay.
And for me personally, I would put it in D, maybe mid to high D.
Okay.
But you've had it. I trust your opinion.
Yeah. I can agree at like a low C, because it is better than Spam Light and Hickory Smoke Spam. Like, if I had the option between them, I'm taking the turkey one.
That's fair. That's fair.
Next up, we actually have a newcomer to the Spam's flavor list, Spam Maple. This one I've actually had semi-recently. It released, I want to say, back in late August, I want to say. It's a new permanent lineup to them, and it is what it sounds like. It is maple flavored Spam.
Okay, that sounds like it could be decent in like a breakfast bowl type of deal.
Yeah, I served mine up with some scrambled eggs and some pancakes. I just cooked it like, I cooked it like you would like bacon, ham, or sausage on the side. And I gotta say, it was really good. Like, it was surprisingly good. Only downside to it is it burns super, super easy because of the sugar.
Yeah.
After, because I got, I think, 2 cans of it, and whenever I buy cans of Spam, especially if it's a newer flavor like this, I try to just eat one and then keep the other one. Because, I'm a collector.
Yeah.
And I ate both cans of it.
So it was damned good.
It was real fucking good. It lacks the versatility that your standard one does, and for actually the opposite reason that some of the other ones do, because it is sweeter. It makes it harder to use it in more savory applications.
Yeah.
That's nothing wrong with that. Like, some Spam and eggs, still great. But it's not like your standard Spam that you can just use in whatever. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, going back to those cookies, I wonder how the maple Spam would fare in
I feel
those.
like the maple Spam and that would be, I feel like that would probably be the correct choice.
Yeah? It didn't exist whenever I made it, because again, this is a new thing. I'm gonna put maple in A tier.
Okay.
It's really fucking good, and it has the potential to be S with the standard and with the hot and spicy, but it's just not quite at that level.
A tier. A tier is agreeable.
Next, we have the Spam made with Hormel bacon. This is what Hickory Smoke Spam wants to be. This is what it dreams about being. That is what they wanted to go for and what they failed so hard to do the first time. It is It has like that salty, fatty bacon flavor that you're expecting. With a slight bit of smoke from like the Hormel bacon they use.
Okay.
I would almost take bacon Spam over regular Spam in most recipes. Just because, if I'm going to really out my age here, back in 2007, Spam changed from being just its standard ingredients: pork shoulder, ham, water, sodium nitrate, and salt and sugar, I believe. And then they added an extra ingredient, potato starch, because of the old gelatinization that people were worried about.
Yeah.
It would because they cooked it in the can, you would have like the meat jelly, which is honestly one of the better parts. They added potato starch to stop that jelly, to basically reabsorb it, right?
Yeah.
Spam with bacon tastes like pre-2007 Spam, or at least closer than what modern classic Spam tastes like.
Okay.
So I have to say it's an S tier. It's also one of those flavors, like, if you haven't tried it, for anyone listening, that is one as a need to try flavor for Spam.
I'll keep that in mind.
Next up, we have a limited edition one that I actually don't own and haven't tried, so it will be going in the don't own, haven't tried tier. But it's Spam barbecue. So it's like a barbecue flavored Spam. I have searched.
That doesn't sound horrible.
No, it doesn't at all. I think it would be, again, what Hickory Smoke would want to be.
It'd be even better if they use Sweet Baby Ray's. Shout out to Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh, Sweet Baby Ray's, yeah. But the thing with the barbecue one is, I can't find word on it anywhere outside of it's just, yeah, it existed. And one image I found of it.
I'm fairly certain, because I'm a big fan of the Game Grumps, I'm fairly certain that they tried it on one of their 10-minute Power Hour episodes.
They might have. I haven't really watched them. I know a little bit of them, but, you know.
I feel like that is an episode that you would enjoy, along with all of our fellow Spam enthusiasts.
But the barbecue Spam was actually a limited edition flavor, and I don't know when, because I can't find shit about it anywhere.
It's not real. It doesn't exist.
It might as well not. Next up, we have black pepper Spam. It is, as it sounds, it is Spam with bits of black pepper through it. And one of my go-tos with Spam is making a Spam scramble, right? So, you know, you fry your Spam, you toast it up, get it all golden, then make a scramble around it. That's what I did with the jalapeno. That's what I do with a lot of Spams, because that's typically one of the better ways to prepare them. Black pepper Spam leaves so much to be desired. Like, it tastes like pepper, but just add pepper to your Spam. Don't buy the specialized product.
Yeah, boom, easy, done.
Yeah, like, I get what they were wanting to do. They wanted to expand, you know, their varieties. But there's other ways to do that isn't as offensive as black pepper Spam.
Yeah.
I think that one, it's still better than Hickory Smoked. It's got to go in C tier.
We'll put it in C tier.
Next up, we have Spam with cheese. You know those lunch meat loaves that are like, you know, the ham with the cheese already in it?
Yeah, it's kind of turning my stomach because the image of that is just never right.
Yeah, that's what Spam with cheese is. And it's not like a good cheese either. It's
not even Velveeta.
I don't think so.
Velveeta's good.
It is basically...
It's not real cheese, but...
It's basically exactly what that horrid excuse for a lunch meat is, but in Spam form.
Low D.
Yeah, low D, instant low D. I did have one good experience with it, and that was whenever I made a Spam omelet.
Oh, I mean, there's already cheese in an omelet, and there's cheese product in this Spam.
Yeah, but for me, it falls under the same thing as a black pepper Spam. Like, if you want cheese on your Spam, just put cheese on your Spam.
Yeah,
it's just
cut up a little bit of Velveeta, throw it in the pan, and you're good.
Yeah, it's just the black pepper Spam did that better. It did it tolerable. Next up, remember how I said earlier I made that breakfast burrito with the jalapeno Spam?
Yeah.
This is the other flavor I've made a breakfast burrito with, and it also blows jalapeno Spam out of the fucking water for that.
Okay.
Chorizo Spam.
I do like chorizo. I'm a big fan of chorizo, big proponent.
I think it is nearly as flexible as your Spam Classic for most applications. Now, of course, again, not like your sweet ones, but again, most of the time people aren't thinking of sweet recipes with Spam, unless you're a weirdo like me. But if you're going for anything that isn't like just a standard, like, like if you're going for anything that isn't sweet, or if you're going for anything that isn't like I've made like Spam spaghetti before, where it's like instead of like ground beef, I use Spam.
That sounds funky and strange.
Oh, it's really good though. It's really good though. The texture's a little iffy, but if you cook the Spam right, it's still really fucking good.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like anything with Spam that isn't something funky, like making Spam spaghetti, I would recommend you use the chorizo Spam instead, if it were still in production.
I mean, but if it's not, you can just get like a little package of chorizo, blend that up with your Spam.
Oh yeah.
Still gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was younger, and this has nothing to do with Spam. We're just gonna tell a really quick story on a tangent. When I was younger, I was hanging out with my buddy Tyler, and his dad was like, "What do you boys want for dinner?" And we both looked at him and like, "Burger sounds great." He's like, "All right, cool. Go get the chorizo out of the freezer in the basement."
Okay. I'm kind of seeing where this is going.
So he mixed ground beef and chorizo and made the most delectable burger I have ever had. And I've had lots of burgers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Which
But definitely, if you enjoy chorizo, mix it with your ground beef. Put that shit in a burger. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the chorizo Spam as another member of S tier.
I would agree. I've never had it, but it sounds bomb.
Now, something, if you wanted, because again, I think it's one of those ones that got discontinued, right? If you want to make an approximation, going back to Larry from the Wolf Pit, he actually has a video on how he made his own homemade Spam. And I feel like if you got like a link of chorizo, or however, I think it's sold in links.
It is.
If you got like that and then mixed it into his recipe, you might get a pretty good approximation of chorizo Spam. Next up, we have the limited holiday release flavor of Spam Figgy Pudding.
Yeah, this is the F tier, right?
No.
No?
No, this is not the F tier.
It sounds horrendous.
So think of like your classic Christmas flavors, right? Where you have like the clove and like the nutmeg and like just like warm
it's
Christmassy
like
feeling, right?
It's a fucking fruitcake in Spam.
Kind of, except there's no fruit flavor. It's just the seasonings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not horrible. It would make a better breakfast one, kind of like how maple does, but it does it worse than maple.
Yeah.
Like, it really lends itself to being paired with things like maple syrup or things like that.
That just sounds... I'm a big fan of sweetmeats.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that sounds like it would just be harsh on the stomach.
It smells like it would be, but it's not horrible. It's really, I would say it's better than the black pepper and the turkey. I would probably put it around B tier. It does have a funky color though. It's kind of brownish because of the seasonings they use.
Yeah, but like just for me personally, I would put that in like C because I'm hesitant to even try it. Yeah. But as the more experienced Spam connoisseur,
yeah,
I trust your judgment.
Next up, we have one that I own but haven't tried. It is the Stinky French Garlic Spam. It was a tie-in with the Spamalot musical and only released in the UK.
That sounds absolutely horrid.
I'm certain it's horrid. I have a can. Haven't tried.
Stinky garlic. That just... Yeah. You don't want to call your food stinky.
Well, it's because it's a Monty Python tie-in. You know, it's meant to be funny. It's making fun of the French for the UK market.
That's fair. I personally have never seen much Monty Python, so I can't get the reference. Yeah,
but I own it, but I haven't tried it because it's been so fucking long. I don't trust it at this point. Especially because I don't know how it was stored before it got to me.
Wait, you have a sealed can of it?
Yes.
Good God.
It still has product in it. I have a sealed can from the 1950s that still has what can loosely be described as product in it.
If you shake the Spam-A-Lot can, does it make a sound?
Not much of one.
That's probably still not a great sign.
No, that's actually a good sign. The one from the
Really?
50s makes a sloshing sound.
No.
uh,
Oh, damn my creative imagination.
yeah. If you ever come see, Payton Spam Museum, I'll show the can to you. I'll let you listen to it real close.
I would love to come see my buddy Payton the Spam Museum.
It has like
But
a
also,
whole wall in my hobby room.
you keep that goddamn can away from me.
Yeah, I have cans older than the both of us combined.
I mean, what combined? We're oh my god, combined we're like 53.
Something like that, yeah.
Combined we're old.
No, combined we're 60. We're 60 combined.
You have cans of Spam.
Yeah.
That are over 60 years old.
I have, yes, that is correct, 1950s. I have a can of Spam that the pig died before either of us were born, but even if we stacked our ages on top of each other before that, the pig died before then.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. Actually, I think, when was my grandma born?
R.I.P. Ancient Pig. You will be missed.
God, that Spam might be older than my grandma.
That one's not sealed, is it?
Oh, it's sealed. That's the one with product in it. That Spam might be older than my grandmother. Hold on. I need to see when
that Spam is how you get botulism.
Oh yeah, that is not something you eat ever at all for any reason.
I feel like it's also something you don't ever open.
Oh no, that's just asking for death.
If you open that can, I think botulism is now airborne.
Oh yeah. Whatever has been growing in that can, it's like a new species of whatever.
We should free it and let it out, and
Fuck
it will wreak havoc.
50. So my grandma was born in 53, right?
Okay.
This Spam is, I want to say it's a 1956 can, so she's only 3 years older than that can of Spam.
That's rough.
Yeah, that means I don't know exactly when pigs are slaughtered, but there's a non-zero chance that pig was born around the same time as my grandma, maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting. A touch disturbing, but interesting.
Oh, no, 5 to 6 months of age. No, but still, that my grandmother was, like 3 years old when that pig died.
Your grandma was a toddler.
Yeah, my grandmother was a toddler when that was sold for consumption.
Yeah. In ye old grocery store of old where everything kind of just looks like Fallout, but it isn't.
I actually have another really cool can, which of course this is semi off topic, semi on topic, because it's all about Spam, and we're almost done with the tier list. But it is a 1960s salesman tin. So it was an empty tin that was never filled. It was sealed but never filled. So salesmen could take it around and show off the product. And that's actually a really cool piece of history I have in my collection.
Oh no, that's incredible. Even if you don't like Spam.
Oh yeah, it's so old and it's in such good condition too. I think it only has 1 or 2 rust spots on it.
Okay.
Which, whenever you're looking at something that old, that is huge. I barely had to do any preservation work on it.
With cans of Spam, is it better to remove the rust or let it be?
Just leave it be. Well, it depends, right? Most of the time, leave it be.
Okay.
Especially if it's a filled can, you just leave the fucking rust alone.
Otherwise, you get botulism.
Yeah. Most of the time, leave it alone. Maybe sand a little bit so it's not flaking off. but
Okay.
don't worry about getting it perfect. The collectors who are going to collect will collect it either way. Some might want it, mint or whatever, but there's some that you can't get that.
Yeah, so it's sort of like coin collection, where you just don't fuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I preserve mine. Like, I wash them. I do all that kind of stuff with it. Now, I don't wash, like the paper labeled ones. But I
I
do,
mean, of course,
I do
that would be
scrub,
stupid.
I do scrub down the metal with certain things, just to kind of, again, get surface rust off and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, But yeah, and speaking of, if there are any weirdos out there, anyone who happens to have grandparents who hoard things, if you are interested in maybe offloading some of your collection, you can totally spam Lyndon with emails to whocareslisteners@gmail.com. If you have something interesting enough, I will let him know for you guys, or I will let him know to let me know, and I might get something off of you guys. At the bare minimum, I can give you an appraisal on your cans, because that is something I do. uh, anyway, back to the tier
The
list.
man is a spam professional.
I am a spam professional. There is, this is going to sound really awful. There's a dude in Alaska who collects spam cans, and I know he's like 50 something or 60 something. I'm kind of waiting for him to pass, because whenever he does, he has one of the largest spam collections in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he passes, that's all probably going to go to auction.
Yeah.
I want to meet the guy, first of all, because, it's always great to meet people who are interested in the same fields of you whenever it comes to collecting.
Yeah.
Especially, I know I've bid against the guy in some of the eBay auctions we've been in.
Have you ever beaten the man?
Oh, a couple of times.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now
But
you all have beef.
what was that?
Now you all have beef. Or,
Not
well, pork.
we have pork. But I would love
I'm
to meet
sorry.
him.
I had to.
I completely understand. But I would love to meet him in person at some point.
Yeah.
But he lives in like Alaska.
Is there like a spam collector's con?
Not a spam collector's con, but there's different festivals. Like there's Spam Jam, there's the Spamboree. Well, there's two Spam Jams. There's a Spam Jam in Austin, Minnesota, which is the one near the Hormel factory in the Spam Museum.
The one that we've discussed going to several times in the year, what, 2025?
2036.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Because that's Spam Centennial, and
Oh, yeah.
I want to go before then, of course, but that is the year it's like I need to go. Whenever Spam turns 100.
Oh, yeah, it's a simple, you must do this.
Yeah. But there's the Spamboree, and I believe it's Austin, Texas.
Austin's a weird city.
Yeah, but they like their spam. And
I
then
mean, their
there's
motto is keep Austin weird.
yeah, and then there is the Spam Jam Hawaii, which I believe takes place in Honolulu.
Okay.
I think it's Honolulu. And that is one I would love to go to, but isn't as high on the priority as the Minnesota one, just because the Minnesota one is where the Hormel plant is where the Spam Museum is.
It's spam mecca.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But yeah, so
All
there are a
spam
few.
collectors must make their journey.
Oh yeah. So there are a few spam festivals. Not I wouldn't really say they're cons per se, but they might as fucking well be.
Well, I mean con in like the terms of like a convention show floor where you can buy cans that you don't have.
Yeah. As my resident con friend, if we go, you want to do cosplay at one of the spam jams?
I'll be a buff can of spam, sure.
Well, there's different characters. Like there's Sir Spam-A-Lot. There's
Okay.
there's Spammy the Pig.
Okay.
There actually is a can character. I can't remember his name off the top of my head though. I know I almost bought a Funko Pop of him. I'm normally against Funko Pops, but I'm not collecting the Funko Pop. I'm collecting for the other collection.
Yeah, I'm also against Funkos in most scenarios, but some of them just look really cool.
Well, for me, it's like, okay, if you collect Spider-Man things, get a Spider-Man
Yeah,
Funko Pop.
of
But
course.
I will look down on you if your collection is I collect Funko Pops.
I collect Funko Pops of all varieties. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah.
You've seen the things I collect, so we don't have to talk about that here.
Yeah. But yeah, if they I know there's like different spam cook-off things. There's all sorts of stuff whenever it comes to the festivals. And that is something I'm really looking forward to doing at some point.
Oh yeah.
I honestly half tempted to look into when Spam Jam is this year, and or at least next year.
I mean, shit, I've never been to Minnesota.
I'm going to Minnesota in March for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like the wrong part of Minnesota, though.
that's actually not super far from it. I'm going to Minneapolis, which is only I think a couple hours from Austin.
And Minneapolis isn't Minneapolis fairly close to Chicago?
Sort of, kind of, I think.
Or am I crazy?
I think
I mean, both of these things can be true.
I think it's like 4 hours from Chicago or something like that. So it's not like
Okay.
it's
not like a horrid distance.
yeah. Anyway, continuing on with the tier list, we have our
Yes. We apologize for the tangent.
hey, the tangent is part of this. You know, I this is a subject I am passionate about.
Oh yeah.
No matter how weird it might be.
And as an outsider looking in, it's kind of weird, but I'm having fun.
Yeah. Next up, we have our only F tier contestant.
Oh no.
Spam Garlic.
That
Garlic
doesn't
spam.
sound right.
Garlic spam. You would think it might be okay. Like, the idea of pork and garlic is pretty normal. Like, that's a normal thing. It might sound all right. It is not. It is not.
It sounds like it might be okay at best.
Spam teriyaki did a better garlic spam than garlic spam did.
Oh no.
It smells and tastes like a foot in an armpit had a baby.
It tastes like Sour Head's Bang.
It was honestly worse. Like,
Ooh.
if you wanted to like ruin everything I love and like torture me at the same time, you would feed me a fucking garlic spam burger and a fucking Sour Head's Bang. I feel like I could deal with interrogation pretty well, but if that's my choice, I'm fucking singing like a fucking canary.
Yeah, it was this guy. Please get away from me.
Please get this away. Thankfully, I think garlic is one of the flavors they discontinued.
If I can ever find a can of garlic spam, put it on a burger, and get you a Sour Head's Bang, you've got to eat it live.
If I will, but just know you're getting shot with rock salt and rice.
I've been shot with worse.
You know what happens if you shoot with rock salt and rice, right?
Oh, fuck no.
You have to scrub the salt out with water, but that causes the rice to expand. Yeah. So you do that, and I'll eat it on camera, but just know you're getting the salt shot.
Think of the views, though.
Oh yeah, it's just I don't know if there'd be very many views for that because it would just be me crying eating it.
There are a lot of weird people on the internet, Payton.
That's true.
A lot of weirdos out there.
That'll be a Patreon exclusive video because you have to fucking pay to see that. Next on the tier list, we have the Honey Golden Grail Spam. This is one that I won out over the dude in Alaska. I can't remember his name for the life of me right now.
An incredible collector, though.
Oh, yeah. From what I understand, he's a great guy, too. And he never actually intended to get into spam collecting. He just collected a few of them, and then people just kept giving him stuff. And he's like, well, I guess I'm a collector now.
One lucky man.
Yeah. But it's the Honey Golden Grail, which was I think I mentioned the Stinky French Garlic was the tie-in the UK. The
Yeah.
Honey Golden Grail was the tie-in for the Broadway release of Spamalot in the U.S.
And we're talking Broadway as in New York City Broadway, not like Chicago or Atlanta Broadway.
Correct. Well, because that's the thing. There's Broadway, Street Broadway, which is, New York. But it's still being a play. It's still on Broadway, even if it's being in Chicago, just because of how naming conventions work. They actually had 2 releases of the Honey Golden Grail. And I spent $70 fucking on the can that I got once you factor in shipping.
But we also discussed something very important.
Yes, I actually had...
We recorded.
So they had 2 releases of the Honey Golden Grail. They had the limited release in 2005, which was anyone could buy it. But in 2004, whenever Spamalot first went on, the first 100 people in line got a can of Honey Golden Grail Spam, and they were all serialized. Mine is one of the serialized cans.
Number 36, if I remember correctly.
Yep, number 36. Which, it's not one like this, super collectible fancy numbers, but it's one of these serialized 100 cans.
If I ever find can number 69, I will spend an unreasonable amount of money to acquire it for you.
If you find can 69, I might sell can 36 back to the guy, or to the guy in Alaska. Because
absolutely,
I got a better one. Here you go.
I mean, of course, can 1 and can 42 are also ones to look out for.
1, 42, 69, can 100. Just because those are numbers people want.
Yeah.
But, I have can 36. So, I actually realized that earlier tonight, as I was kind of going through my collection.
Can 13 would also probably be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have, your people who like the number 13. To quote the magic card, or to say the name, a Triskaidekaphile.
A Triskaidekaphile.
But yeah, so that is actually one of the coolest pieces I have in my collection. I
would say between it and your salesman can are probably the 2 coolest.
The 50s one is really cool. The one with still the product in it. And also, I have a can of the original run of Hickory Smoke.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the original run, because what it was is it was started, I believe, a year before they started putting barcodes on things.
Okay.
And it is pre-barcode.
Hell yeah.
So that's also another really interesting one. But the only one that could have been more interesting is... So whenever I was first starting my collection, I was buying a lot of Spam cans because there were a lot I didn't have, right?
Yeah.
And the... what was I going to say? The algorithm and the people who were selling them started to recognize me as a buyer of them.
Yeah.
So I was getting offers from people before they would actually put them for sale.
Which is always...
Yeah, and I had an offer to buy one of the Honey Golden Grail from the original run, the original 100, that was signed by Eric Idle.
Oh, that would have been phenomenal.
The only thing is, I was laid off from my job at that time because it was whenever COVID was the first lockdowns happened.
Yeah.
And I couldn't justify spending, I think it was $150 on a Spam can at that time.
Yeah, no, that's rough at a time like that.
Yeah, I would have loved to have. That would have been a huge piece of my collection. The only thing that could have actually made it better would have been an original run can. But you are not going to find a can from the 36-37 run because of, a little thing called World War II.
Yeah.
But if someone finds one, I will sell my fucking left kidney to buy it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yes. So we have 3 more on the list. We have one that I didn't know existed until tonight that I do not own and haven't tried. It was a limited edition flavor in Korea. That was a kimchi flavored Spam.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that existed until tonight, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere else. So it's either they did it way before and then no one's selling it, or they did it recently and it just hasn't hit, American markets like eBay and stuff yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's more of the former, where they had already sold it and then just didn't have it. Like, no one's selling it.
I mean, I don't think a kimchi flavor would have done great in America.
I don't either, but there are people who will buy cans from other countries to sell them in America. Like I have a Japanese can. I have a can that's actually fully in Arabic. It did have a sticker because it was sold on a U.S. Army base, but the can itself was in Arabic. It actually says "not suitable for Muslims" on it. But I actually had to sit there and scrub that can because they put an English sticker on it for the soldiers. But I didn't want an English sticker on it because I bought it as an Arabic can. So there is a market for foreign spam. Anyway. Excuse me. We have 2 more left. You ready for them? Hello? I apologize about that. We had some minor difficulties. We are currently recording over Discord, and Discord decided to not be super cooperative with us.
It happens more often than not.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides about recording over Discord. So, after we got things resettled, you had some comments about the Arabic can.
Yeah, I mean, something like that is super interesting to me because a lot of, like I've told you many times, the men in my family are police officers, preachers, or soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had family and friends who served in the Middle East, so I always think something like that's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because it's almost a whole nother world over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like the fact they have to put "not for Muslims" on it.
Yeah, no, that's incredibly interesting.
Yeah. And, as I was saying, like, it sucks that I had to scrub off, like, the Army base. Like, it was like the nutrition facts and label and stuff like that. I had to, but that's because I bought it as an Arabic can, not as military.
I mean, if you could ever find another military history can, I think that would be really interesting too.
I actually have I have one that it was given to me because it's spam can shaped, but it's like a military survival kit.
Okay.
I have one. It's not really what I collect, but I have one. I'm thinking about.
It's definitely interesting to have.
Oh yeah, I'm considering it. I'm considering donating it to my local military museum.
And local military museums could always use more artifacts.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, a lot of the military museums I've been to are wonderful places. One I can recommend wholeheartedly is the military museum at Fort Knox.
Oh, I can imagine that one's really good.
The security to get in is crazy because Fort Knox.
Yeah, it's Fort fucking Knox. Of course, it's going to be crazy.
Like I think we sat in intake for like 2 hours.
Yeah. Wow. 2 fucking hours.
Yeah. Fort Knox does not fuck around.
I mean, it makes sense. So we have 2 left on our list here.
All right.
Spam Portuguese sausage.
I've never heard of that.
It's discontinued now. However,
Okay.
I had a can of it before it was. And if I'm being 100% honest, I remember eating it. I don't remember any, like, redeeming qualities about it. Or negative.
So again, another nothing remarkable.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's a B tier. There's nothing remarkable about it. But
didn't we put teriyaki in C?
Yeah, teriyaki was C. But that's because teriyaki was decent, but it wasn't, I'm trying to remember what it was, because teriyaki wasn't super memorable either, but it was slightly worse than the tocino, I believe.
Yeah.
And I remember the sausage one, it had if I'm remembering right, it had an interesting texture because it was, more sausage-like.
Yeah.
And I remember it had a good flavor, but it's not like I couldn't, looking back, what is this, 6 years later, I couldn't tell you what that flavor was.
The flavor was good.
It was good, but I couldn't break it down. It's like, oh, I tasted this pepper, this amount of
Then
garlic.
this sounds like a perfect candidate for middle to low B.
Yeah. And the last one, the most controversial flavor of Spam. Do you have any guesses?
Okay. Fuck, I don't know them all. No, I don't really have any ideas.
This is our good friend Pumpkin Spice Spam.
Oh, son of a bitch, I forgot that existed.
Pumpkin Spice Spam is actually really fucking good. It is.
I do not believe you. Automatic F tier for me.
It is really fucking good. It is better than the figgy pudding, and I would say it's on par with the maple with how good of a breakfast Spam it can be.
Yeah, but we also have to take into consideration that Starbucks ruins one of our favorite seasons with their pumpkin spice.
Yes, but Spam did it once, and it was to piggyback off that trend. And
that's fair. That's valid. That's good marketing.
They did it well, and then never did it again.
Oh, it's only ever happened once.
Yeah, 2017.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not a yearly thing. It has happened once. It might have happened another time for a limited release, but I don't remember exactly. But as far as I'm aware, it's been once.
All right.
And they did it damn fucking well. That is a flavor I wish would come back.
Would eat again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you put it?
Okay, if we're saying your standard chorizo and bacon are like 10s, right?
Those are 10s. Those are bangers.
Yeah. It probably is falling around maybe 7, 8-ish.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. I would rather have the pumpkin spice one than I would, the turkey one or the black pepper. It is automatically better than anything that is below B tier. And it's better than the figgy pudding, so that means, and figgy pudding we have in B tier. I think logically it makes sense to put the pumpkin spice in A.
Either very high B or A. Yeah. I will agree to that.
I'm going to put it in A.
Excellent.
So that is the last one on here. On the list. Now, there are a few flavors I didn't really touch on because they're not your traditional Spam products. They have a one that was released in Puerto Rico called Spam Mezclita, which is like a cheese and Spam spread for sandwiches.
Okay, that's interesting.
I haven't tried that because it went out of production around the same time I started collecting Spam and I just didn't get a chance to get a can of it.
Yeah, these things happen.
Yeah. There's the Spam spread, which is just basically, it's like, a spread. You get it out of the can, you spread it on your bread, and make a sandwich like that. Not great. Not good at all.
It's like Biscoff, but for Spam.
It's not good. And then you have your Spam singles, they have Spam Light singles, Spam Less Sodium singles, Spam Classic singles. Those are just the regular ones, just sold in a single serve packet rather than a can. Yeah, no reason to put those on the list. And then you have your weird stuff, you have yours. I believe there were Spam flavored macadamia nuts that they sold for a while.
That's weird. I don't like that. That shouldn't exist.
That's actually why, again, shout out to Larry from the Wolf Pit, did his cookies because he, I believe, went to Hawaii and picked up a can of those macadamia nuts and decided to make
And
the cookies
speaking
with
of
those.
Hawaii, is spam incredibly big there?
A lot of places will make their own approximations of spam from local pork scraps.
Yeah.
So that, like the spam. Oh, I thought. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit. My brain kind of blood.
We've both been drinking. It's fine.
Um.
I'm sure the audience isn't too upset. I feel like we've been entertaining.
Oh yeah, entertaining, and I think we've been still fairly coherent.
I feel like we've both been coherent, yeah. And that's an important thing.
I was thinking big as in you meant like physically big, like they sold it in bigger cans.
No, like
No.
huge, popular with the masses.
It is super. That's where spam musubi comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is super popular in Hawaii. It's super popular in Guam. A lot of like the American territories and the Pacific Islands. Super popular there. Oh, so yeah, so like the spam macadamia nuts, didn't put them on there because they're a spam adjacent product.
Yeah.
If I was going to put every spam adjacent product, might as well talk about the fucking spam mints they made. They weren't flavored
that
like
sounds
spam.
like another tier list.
They weren't flavored like spam. I should know. I bought some.
This seems a whole lot like another tier list.
Yeah. But then there's also like they had spam patties, which were like imagine like your spam singles, right? Except they were breaded and deep fried and then frozen. So like a fish stick almost, except instead of fish on the inside, it's spam, or like a chicken patty.
That's both interesting and disturbing.
They also had spam fries, which is the same thing, but in fry form rather than in patty form.
That sounds a lot like chicken fries, and chicken fries slap.
It's like chicken fries, but with pig instead of chicken.
I prefer eating pig anyway.
Yeah, it's with oink oink instead of bok bok.
Yeah, not a big. I'm a big fan of both of these meats, but
yeah, it's I've considered buying some to try it, but I haven't.
Hard to find
anymore. I think you can buy them off the spam website, but I don't. Buying frozen food off the internet just feels weird to me.
It feels wrong.
Yeah. Like, I know nowadays they can get it shipped to you and it won't be an issue at all.
Yeah.
But it feels weird.
Thank you, Jeffrey Bezos.
Thank you, Jeffrey Bezos.
Very cool.
So yeah, I left off some of the products like that, and if there's another one I don't know about, I really don't fucking know about it, so that's why it's not on here.
Yeah.
But other than that, so just to recap here, in the S tier, we have Spam Classic, Spam Hot and Spicy, Spam with Bacon, and Spam Chorizo.
And these all sound correct.
Yeah. In A tier, we have 25% less sodium, 25% less sodium.
Hey, it's got to be on there twice.
Yeah. Jalapeno, maple, and pumpkin spice.
Okay.
In B tier, we have the Spam with Tocino, which I believe also in Puerto Rico they call it Spam Borduca, I want to say. They're listed as separate products, but they look identical. They have a almost identical like list of ingredients. The only difference is one's in Spanish, one's in English. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. Then we have Spam Figgy Pudding. And then Spam Portuguese Sausage. In C tier, we have Spam Teriyaki, Spam Oven Roasted Turkey, and Black Pepper Spam. In D tier, we have Spam Light, Spam Hickory Smoke, and Spam with Cheese. In the F tier, or as I call it, the fuck that tier, we have Spam Garlic.
Yeah.
And then ones I own but haven't tried are the Stinky French Garlic and the Honey Golden Grail. The Honey Golden Grail, if it wasn't so far out of date, that is one I would love to try, but also the serial number is on the top of the can, so if I peeled that off...
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
thankfully, it's not good for human consumption right now. Because what it was is it was your standard Spam, but it had like those honey crystals scattered throughout it, to where whenever you
Ooh,
cooked it, they would melt and like make a glaze.
that sounds delicious.
Right? And then the ones that I don't own and haven't tried that I'm on the lookout for is Spam Barbecue and Spam Kimchi.
Hell yeah.
So, if you guys liked this video, leave us a like. Make sure you follow us on the Spotify if you haven't. Make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube if you're not, so you can get more information and more episodes from us. Follow our Patreon if you want to support us and what we do. And if you like David on here, leave a comment. He might come on some more episodes every now and again, whenever
Maybe or may not.
Maybe. It's, if Lyndon's busy and I need someone to hop on with, we'll see.
I would definitely be more than happy to come back.
Yeah. If you like him, let us know. We might have him on again. Shout out to Bay Energy, because I'm still gunning for that sponsorship 2 years later.
Because it's about 54 minutes past bang o'clock.
Oh, I've already drank mine today.
It's been bang o'clock.
Yeah. Shout out to Rockville Audio, who my mic is through, and was able to pick up the sound of a bang can cracking from 2 feet away in the episode Lyndon and I recorded later today.
Excellent.
Shout out to my boy Patrick out in New York. You've been a real one with us since day one. I think that's everything. In the words of Lyndon, go out and be great. Say bye, David.
Bye, David.